All right, what's up, guys? First live stream in a while, back on the grind. If you watch my main channel, you know why I've been making less content lately, but that's starting to change now. But let's get right into it. I don't want to waste a bunch of time rambling while I wait for people to come into the live stream. We'll just start talking about shit that actually matters. Because it does get reposted automatically. And no one wants to hear a guy ramble for like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. In this video, we're going to watch a pickup artist try to approach girls and get their number, get a date. This is something that, generally is considered kind of weird, kind of creepy, approaching women. It's not very, modern feminism approved. But there are people who show themselves, myself included, if you don't know my channel, approaching women. And sometimes you can see it seems to go very well. It seems to lead to a lot of success. Although other times it's extremely cringe and uncomfortable. And sadly, those videos tend to be far more popular because it's more entertaining. And I think also when you see someone fail and you see them be cringe, it kind of makes you feel better about the fact that you're not doing it. That you're not trying to approach women because, well, I don't look how horrible that went. Now I get to feel better about myself for not trying. So I think that's a big part of the reason. But there are some people who are good at it, and we're going to watch someone called Fluid Social and see which category do they belong into. Are they one of these cringe lords that just make approaching women look like a creepy, weird thing to do? Or is he someone who's actually smooth, who actually knows how to have an interaction that is likely to lead to a date that is, win-win in the cheesy self-help term, that is enjoyable for everyone involved. And that's what we're going to take a look at in this video. And no, I have not been on the Fresh and Fit show, and I don't think I ever would be, even if I could. All right, let's take a look at the footage.
Friday,
all right.
Which makes tomorrow Saturday, right. And the following day Sunday.
Then it's Monday or Tuesday.
So there are three main reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing today. So the first reason why I'm doing this is to motivate all of you to get out there. This isn't about me saying, look how good I am, watch what I can do, and one day you'll be able to do it. What I'm trying to do is get as many of you out of the house, because we have to lead with action. You've got to get out there, put yourself into these situations to learn anything. It's not about the information you're consuming, it's about the action you're taking and the information to resolve the problems or obstacles that you're facing. The second reason why I'm doing it is to stay
that's important. What he's saying there is very important, very true. Is it's much easier to flip these two. So to put information first, and then once I have enough information, then I'll take action. That's the mindset that a lot of us have, because realistically, we all have a fear of rejection. We all want to avoid putting ourselves in those difficult circumstances. And it's much easier to start with information, watch thousands of videos. I did it myself and not do anything about it. But the actual way you learn anything is the opposite. Imagine if someone was trying to learn guitar and they just read a bunch of books about guitar, watched a bunch of tutorials without picking up a guitar. How fast would they develop that skill? They literally would make no progress whatsoever. You have to start strumming, fuck it up, try to learn chords, try to play different songs, and then you learn through that. So he's 100% right. This is the thing most people who learn about pickup get wrong, is they just watch, learn information, but that's not how it works. You take action, and then the content helps you learn from the context of the actions you took and the mistakes that you made.
Obstacles that you're facing. The second reason why I'm doing it is to stay sharp myself, right? This is so important for me because it's a way of me improving my confidence, my social skills, and my threshold for fear, right? If something's scary, after I've done this, it's less scary. I'm better with people. I'm better in social situations. I'm more charismatic. I'm more confident in public. And the third reason why I'm doing it is to actually improve the state of the world. We're in a very weird place right now. It's no longer, guys aren't really doing this anymore. They're all using apps which just aren't serving them and don't work for the vast majority of guys. It doesn't feel good. I want to show men and women that this can still be done respectfully, it can be done well, and it can be effective. I want to show women that guys with some courage and some spontaneity and some passion for life still exist. So those are the three main reasons. You will learn something from this video if you watch till the end. Even if you don't, enjoy the videos, it's better than Netflix. Excuse me, hi. So you just walked past me and you have a really cool style. I was just like, she's very striking. Don't
look at that.
Enjoy the videos, it's better than Netflix. Excuse me, hi. So you just walked past me and you have a really cool style. I was just like, she's...
So he did kind of approach from behind her, which is not ideal. He said, excuse me, while he was still kind of from behind, which can be a little bit jarring. It's not the end of the world. It's a very common mistake. It's something we all do. Ideally, you do want to get in front of her and make eye contact first if you can. Sometimes it's not an option. But other than that, his tone is very friendly, but it's not beta. It's not like, hi, you're very pretty, which a lot of guys, when I do boot camps, when I do in-person coaching, I see so many of my clients, when they talk to me, they sound normal, they sound cool. But when they talk to a girl, their voice literally goes up like an entire octave. They start rushing, it's a whole different persona. They put on this mask where they completely change the way they're acting, the way they're talking, to basically be supplicating, to be low status, to talk to the girl like she's a celebrity, and they're like so excited to see this celebrity in real life, and the girl is instantly turned off. You do want to have positive energy. You don't want to be a dickhead. I mean, some girls are into that, but generally leading with positivity is going to be better. But you need to do it with some level of masculinity, some level of dominant energy. And his approach initially does a good job at having both.
Very striking. What's your name?
Chrissy.
Chrissy, I'm Sam. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Sam.
What do you...
Uniqlo, please.
Huh?
Uniqlo.
This is Uniqlo. How do you know?
I got one.
Ah, you like representing.
They're the best fleece.
They are the best fleece.
Because I feel like you can wear a coat on top, like a light coat, and then you can still be warm, you know?
You can. They're
really
not good
great.
for much else though. Most of the things are a little bit everything's very oversized there.
It's true, but the fleeces, they nailed it.
The fleeces are the winners. You're an artist, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a dancer.
Okay, so who is reacting to who? In any social interaction, one person is going to be more reactive than the other person. Generally, for example, if you're working at your job, the manager is going to be less reactive than the employee. And when it comes to dating, when it comes to seduction, the number one female fantasy is dominance and submission. That's why 50 Shades of Grey is the most popular book of the 2010s. That is the number one fantasy. So for the majority of women, if you're the one who's being reactive to them, you're being submissive to them in the way that you carry yourself, they're not going to be attractive. They're just going to be like, this guy's a loser. This guy's a dork. That's what they're going to think. And you can tell by the way that she's acting. She's moving a lot. She's talking fast. She's laughing kind of obnoxiously, but she's laughing more than really fits what he's saying, right? It's reactive. And those are all very good signs to watch out for. When a girl's acting that way, most likely she's attracted to you. And he's not overly excited. He's not like, completely deadpan and emotionless, but he's not reacting to her. She's reacting to him. And that really is kind of the foundation of seduction, of attraction, is being less reactive than the girl is being reactive to you.
So, yeah.
You're a dancer?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it ballet or contemporary?
Just flagging it all, probably, yeah.
Well, have a lovely day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for coming and saying hi.
No, keep the positivity with you.
Have a lovely day.
Like I'm there.
Yeah.
Did he cut the...
Yeah, I'm a dancer, yeah.
You're a dancer?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it ballet or contemporary?
Just flagging it all, probably, yeah.
Well, have a lovely day.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, it looks like he cut... That's a little sus. He cut it to where he ends the interaction. I mean, I assume she would have just said something like, I have a boyfriend, and there's no reason not to include that. So I have no idea what happened there. Maybe he'll explain it, but that was very strange.
Thank you for coming and saying hi.
No, keep the positivity with you.
Have a lovely day. What are you doing? Where are you going?
I'm going to meet a friend up here, and we're going to go to Green Park.
Nice.
Bumble around.
Oh, enjoy.
Take care, darling. Bye-bye. So the interaction that you just saw was fortuitous. So I was actually very lucky because the first girl that I go up and talk to is just fun and friendly with a nice energy, with positivity. And sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. If you watched my video that I released last week, you'll see that the first ones didn't go very well at all. For a lot of guys, that can destabilize them and make them feel like they're doing something wrong, they're bad, it's not their day. Create all of these reasons why it didn't work, but the truth is it's just blind luck who you walk into at the time. So today it was lucky because she just responded well. She was up.
I mean, I wouldn't quite agree. Luck is a huge factor in pickup. It's kind of like, say, poker, where, look, you're going to get good hands, good approaches, where pretty much as long as you don't screw it up, it's going to go down. There's going to be opportunities that just present themselves that are very easy. And to be fair, most guys still manage to screw those opportunities up. But there's going to be really good hands or approaches. And then there's going to be really bad ones where the girl's in a horrible mood. She's about to meet her boyfriend. Maybe, like, I don't know, her cat died and she's just in a terrible mood. Whatever. She doesn't want to talk to you. And it's just not going to happen no matter how smooth you are, no matter what you do. And she's going to be, weird or negative. Now, the majority of interactions are at least going to be pleasant enough, positive enough. Most rejections are not that harsh unless you're coming at her with some negative energy. Most of the time, it's not going to be a big deal. But he's right that luck is a huge factor. And that's why volume is so important. If you approach 20 girls, it's pretty much guaranteed that some of them are going to like you, some of them are going to be receptive, and you're going to have some opportunities. But it's also guaranteed that some of them are going to want to have nothing to do with you. I have a friend in Vegas. This guy, he approaches like a madman. He'll approach girls who look like they're with their boyfriend. He'll approach girls that are clearly like in a rush to get somewhere. They're all lined up, holding each other's hands. And he'll just like tap one of their shoulders and try to start talking to them. And usually those approaches are done in 5 seconds, right? Usually they go nowhere. But because he has no hesitation whatsoever, he'll try anything. Sometimes he'll pull one of those girls that most guys would never have even thought of approaching. He'll take her home within 30 seconds or at least a few minutes. I've seen that happen a number of times. So yes, it is a numbers game to an extent. And yes, you are going to get rejections, but the more you play the numbers game, the more you are guaranteed to overall succeed. Because unlike poker, if you fail in poker, you're losing money. If you fail in pickup and you get a rejection, you're not losing anything, right? You're losing at most a few minutes of time, but you're actually also building momentum and building more iciness. Basically, you're showing yourself it's not a big deal to get rejected, which means your future approaches are more likely to go well. So you have nothing to lose and a lot to gain.
Having a conversation, and very often that first win or that first good feeling makes it much easier, but you don't want to be too affected by your emotional fluctuations. If an interaction goes well or badly, you drop it, you move on to the next one, and you keep going. If you get tied up in the emotional highs and lows, you exhaust yourself, you drain your energy, and you get further into your head, into that introspective, insular, heady mode. So that is just good luck, and it will happen to you sometimes and it won't other times. Play for the long game. Don't worry about the individual conversations. Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt. I just saw you walking past and you have amazing style, so I wanted to give you a compliment.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, you look great.
Thank you.
Are you Spanish?
No, Brazilian.
Ai, qual cidade?
São Paulo.
São Paulo?
Fala português?
Eu falo pouco de português. Eu estava no Rio de Janeiro
Ah,
há
Rio.
muito tempo.
Ah, legal.
Então só voltei a última semana.
Ai, que bom. É difícil alguém falar português aqui.
É difícil no Rio também. Ninguém fala. Os turistas estrangeiros não falam muito, mas eu já fiquei bastante.
Sério? Porque o Rio é bem assim, internacional, né?
É muito internacional, mas a maioria só chega 2 semanas e vai para outro lugar.
São
Então
Paulo.
o estrangeiro que fica é mais raramente, né?
Ah, legal.
Quanto tempo tá na Inglaterra?
Eu cheguei na quarta e vou embora amanhã.
Por quê?
Porque eu trabalho numa empresa francesa e aí eu vim pra Paris. E aí eu volto pra São Paulo agora.
Que isso? Quer ficar mais? Você gosta de Londres?
É bem diferente assim.
Diferente como?
Frio.
É frio agora.
Cinza.
Mas você precisa ficar em junho, julho.
So this interaction is a good example. I mean, it's very fortuitous that he knows Portuguese to some extent, but this is a good example of how basic and normal approaching a girl can be. It doesn't require crazy gimmicks, crazy lines, doing anything garish or weird. He just approached her, said he liked her style, and then asked where she's from or guessed where she's from, and then started a conversation about where she's from, which is a very easy thing to do. It's a very normal way to start a conversation. And what's making it intriguing or interesting enough to her is that he's centered, he's grounded, he's not being reactive, and he's holding strong eye contact, and his vocal tonality is engaging, right? He's not being super robotic or super, like I was talking, low status, like, oh my God, overexcited, like, hey, how's it going? He's not doing any of that. And that is enough. That is enough to be far more successful than you probably would want to even think. Very basic things are enough to get good results.
É verão, né?
Verão é melhor.
Mas eu tenho uns amigos aqui, então é bom.
Eles moram no oeste, em oeste.
Não, eles moram aqui.
É, mas o oeste da Inglaterra, tipo Notting Hill.
Eu, a parte mais central, não faço ideia. Meio perdida, mas enfim.
Tá aprendendo. Londres. Tá bom, né? Mas você gosta?
Tô gostando.
Aham, então tem que voltar, mas no verão, né?
Sim.
Porque agora é assim, a maioria.
É, mas é a primeira vez que eu vim. Eu já tinha ido pra Berlim, e aí agora Londres a primeira vez.
If you like what you see today, there are 3 things that you can do to improve your own social life and dating life. Number 1 is you can like and subscribe to the channel.
All right, so his cuts are, as I said earlier, his cuts are coming across kind of sus. Now, the first one, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he didn't like the girl, and that's why he didn't go for a number, and that would have been a lesson that, you know, he had a good conversation, but you don't have to be into every girl you approach. He didn't mention that, and he also cut off the part where she might have said she had a boyfriend or rejected him or whatever. So it's a little suspect as to whether he, you know, what happened. Why did he cut out the part where he either got her number or didn't? Same thing's happening here. The lessons he's been saying in the vlog part of the video are generally accurate, but I do find that kind of strange.
I will answer any questions in the comments. The second thing you can do is join my 30-day dating recharge course. I've actually created a free course where you can follow the steps that I take my private clients through to completely transform their social and dating lives without needing that one-on-one coaching. The third thing you can do is that every subscriber to this channel is entitled to 1 free call with me. And if you look in the link in the description as well, you can book a free call with me where I'm gonna actually help you solve your biggest obstacle right now. Whatever your biggest challenge is, whatever your questions you have, I'm gonna get you past that so that you can go out with confidence and start fixing this area of your life. Thanks. Eu acho que em junho eu vou para Brasil, ficar tempo no Rio e eu vou para Bahia também.
Ah, legal.
Mas vai ser bom para te começar.
So let me put my face in it. So he's mentioning that he's going to Brazil in the future, which the reason you would do that is if you're like getting a girl's number and it's only a tourist situation where you're not in your hometown, some girls are going to feel like it would be too slutty to meet a guy who you know you're never going to see again, right? You know that there's no chance of it leading to something longer term. And so some girls won't want to do that. But if you say, oh, I'm actually coming to Brazil, it kind of helps deal with that objection, right? You're potentially someone she's going to see again. So that does make sense.
Se você está livre lá, você tem o WhatsApp? Você te manda mensagem?
Instagram?
Eu acho que eu tenho. Não, I deleted the app.
Oh, sério?
Mas você que sabe, mas você tem tem namorado agora?
Não. Eu tenho, WhatsApp. Fiquei impressionada com o seu português, muito bom.
Okay, so another criticism is he's saying like maybe I'll be in Brazil months later. Yes, it is good to not make her feel like a slut, but he's not setting up a meetup now. He's not setting up a meetup in this particular situation. It also looks like she's not doing anything. She's free. As far as I can tell, he could be taking her on a date and going for the pool right now. He doesn't necessarily need to go for the number. Generally with tourists, numbers can still work. You can still get dates from tourist numbers. I've done it many times, but it's definitely a lower percentage chance, right? So if you're dealing with someone who doesn't live in the place that you met them, it is ideal to go for the poll if it's possible. And I don't see any reason why it's not possible here, but also the idea that he's setting up meeting her months in advance, and that's the context, that's the frame of getting the number, it's less likely for him to get a date by doing that than if he makes specific plans for later that evening or the next day or something like that.
Obrigado. So that was a really nice interaction because we spoke the same language, right? And this is one of the advantages of traveling. You're going to meet many different women from different places, different countries, and if you have some knowledge of where they're from or you speak some of the language, you have a huge advantage because it separates you from the crowd. What English person, what American person, what Canadian person knows how to speak Portuguese or Romanian or Spanish or any of these languages? It's rare, and when you do, you have an instant connection. Right, so in that case, there wasn't much of a response at the start. She is from Brazil, and this is quite a frequent activity, a frequent occurrence in Brazil. But when I started speaking Portuguese, it...
Yeah, I agree, Jim. He should try to pull. And realistically, it's a better video if you get the pull, right? That's a better video than getting a number. That's a lot rarer. It's a lot more impressive. So that maybe there's something he cut out, right, where she said she's busy, but I didn't see that. And from what he showed, he could have at the very least taken her to get coffee or some kind of instant date.
Lifted it, elevated it, because we had that connection, that us against the world frame, where it's us that both speak the same language and understand the same culture. No one else understands it. So we had a very genuine and connective interaction. There was a lot of very strong eye contact, which is something that I focused on at the start, is really remembering the color of her eyes. Her eyes were pale brown. And from that eye contact comes that sense of relaxation, presence, and real connection. So whether or not you get a phone number, it's not important. That seems sort of appropriate given our interaction, and she's a very nice girl, but it's not important. What's important is that you are learning something about her, that you are actively engaged in the conversation. Don't worry about the results of these conversations. The benefits you get on the other side, from the long-term perspective, from the connecting, from the learning, from the staying sharp, is way greater than just getting a phone number. So you've got to see the bigger picture here. It's not about how many numbers you get in a day.
So I believe this guy is familiar with, or to some extent practicing the London day game model, which is most pickup coaches and pickup guys in London use this model. And I think there's some good things about it because it gives you a template for how to open, how to keep the conversation going, how to get the number. It gives you like a skeleton that you can work with that if you don't know what to say is very useful to have, because otherwise you might just freak out and make excuses and run away or whatever. So that is useful, but it's a basic template that you want to level up from. And there's some things in that model that are like going for the number, right? That's the end of the model is getting the number. It's not going for the pull, that are limiting, right? There's some things that a lot of the guys, let me put it this way, a lot of the guys who use the London day game model are very cringy and awkward and robotic. A lot of the coaches who use it are. Now, this guy, Fluid Social, he's an exception. He's not cringy. He's not super awkward. He's grounded. His interactions were smooth. They were going very well. The girls are responding positively. He's doing a lot of things right. The only thing is that just going for the number to hang out in Brazil several months later is really not ideal. Now, he still might meet her if she really liked him. He still might get a date with her, but it's lowering the chances the way he went about it.
How many dates you'll go?
So someone's saying always go for the pool, numbers are meaningless. I disagree. I'd say going for the pool should be plan A in your mind. That should be the first option. Then you find out her situation. You find out how receptive she is, how available she is. And based on that, oftentimes the pool no longer is the best option and getting the numbers the best option. But in your mind, pulling should be the first option and getting the number is your backup plan if you can't pull. But what a lot of guys do and what is happening in this video is it seems like pulling is the backup plan and the number is the plan A.
Going on. It's not even about that. This is about the long term, you becoming someone that is genuinely confident and has actively gone out on their own hero's journey and transformed their social life. I like your hat. You're welcome. Excuse me. Hi. I just saw your skirt. I thought it looked really good. I like your style. And I had a second question. Are you German?
No, I'm Swedish.
Oh, you're Swedish? From Stockholm?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Nice to meet you. I'm Sam.
Hi.
I just saw your style and I was like, she stands out, and that's nice in London. You're colourful.
Thank you.
It looks great. Yeah. How long are you here for?
I don't know really. I'm meeting some friends.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I mean, in London. Do you live here or do you?
No, I'm here for. But I haven't decided if I'm going home on like what is
Sunday
or Monday. I don't know.
Right.
I have no clue what day it is now.
Today is Friday.
Friday, all right.
Which makes tomorrow Saturday,
right.
And the following day Sunday.
Then it's Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, cool. So you've got one more weekend in London, and you're going to go and party.
No, I'm like going to theaters and stuff.
You're doing London the right way. Everyone just goes out to clubs and parties, and you're actually doing it properly. Cinemas and theatres. Yeah. I like that. Well, listen, I hope you have a really lovely time here, and keep dressing your way. Don't follow the crowd. I love it.
Yeah, have a good day.
Have a lovely day. Take care, though. Now, my suspicion is that this particular individual has never been approached by a man in her life. I got a strong sense that was the first time, and it was just a positive experience. She was very shy. She was very timid.
So he is making a very important point, which men very rarely approach women, especially in daytime environments, especially just walking down the street. It's extremely rare. Men are terrified of doing it. Very few ever do. And it stands out. Sometimes girls will be like, taken aback, kind of thrown off by it. But generally, it makes it extremely positive and exciting of an experience as long as you're not pushy or aggressive or anything like that, right? It makes it stand out. It's so much more intriguing than meeting a guy on Tinder. Like in romance novels, right? In 50 Shades of Grey, did the main character, Anastasia, I think her name is, meet whatever his name, Christian Grey? Did she meet him on a dating app? How many romance novels, how many romance movies do they meet on dating apps? Is that like women's fantasy to meet on a dating app? Oh my God, it's so exciting to meet. No, actually, a lot of girls, if you meet them on a dating app, will say, okay, so here's our story about how we met when I tell my friends. They don't want to admit it. They want to have met a guy in a library or a guy somewhere random. It's just a spur of the moment kind of thing that just happened. And that is something that women are starved for now because so many men are so cucked. They're so afraid of getting rejected. They're so addicted to porn. They're like, this is good enough. They're relying on dating apps that it rarely happens. And you will stand out far more than you think you will by actually approaching women in real life.
Maybe a little bit nervous, but I made it very clear that I was no threat. I sort of adapted to the energy level that she was giving off and to her frequency. And I think she'll probably walk away feeling a little bit more positive about men and about the world. No one really approaches women in Sweden. So sometimes you just get a good feeling that you're doing something good and it's helping you, it's helping her, and it's improving things on a macro level as well by changing the culture slightly more in a direction that I think we can all look forward to. Quick call to action. If you guys...
Okay, so I really wish he would explain why he's not going for the number, because if he's just not interested because he doesn't like shy girls, that's fine. But it's kind of odd that the first girl didn't ask her number as far as I can tell, or they cut it out. Third girl didn't ask for her number. And then second girl, he did ask for a number, but not in the ideal way. Maybe he has a girlfriend or something. I'm just not aware of this. And he's just doing this to demonstrate. But without that knowledge, it's kind of weird. It's cool to do approaches and, have a good time, express yourself. Even if you don't get the number, can be a rewarding experience. Sure. But if you have chemistry with a girl, you find a girl attractive, and presumably the way he's talking about them, he did, then why wouldn't you go for the number? There's no reason to shoot yourself in the foot either. So I'm not sure the explanation of that. But outside of that, his approaches were very good. They were smooth. The girls, he has a good energy where he's not putting on too much pressure. He's not being like too forceful in his energy, but he's also not being low status and beta and reactive. Groundedness can get you very far. And the way you show groundedness, partly it's the way you speak, partly it's with steady eye contact. That's not like that, just steady, calm. The only way you can get that is by approaching girls and practicing holding strong eye contact until it becomes comfortable for you. And the third one is body language, right? Not reactive body language. Not being like, fidgety and not being, overly reacting to what's happening. That's the third part, is just grounded body language. And he does all those things well. So overall, I'd say this was a good clip. I don't really understand what the cuts were about and why he didn't get the first girl's number or the third girl's number. Overall, this guy's not one of these cringy pickup guys that, makes the whole idea of approaching women look bad. And you can check out, I'll have a link to his channel below. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I want to let you know right now I'm offering my book, my full-length book, The Game Plan, for 50% off for literally just $7 for the next, it's less than 48 hours. It's less than 48 hours. I don't know the exact number. So it's literally only $7 for a full-length book. It comes with an infield breakdown of how I picked up a hot Latina girl. It includes a personalized action plan. So basically you're communicating with me, and I'm based on your situation, based on your specific circumstances, where you at and where you are at right now in terms of dating. I'm going to create a customized step-by-step action plan for getting the results you want in regards to pickup. And it includes a lot more. There's tons of other bonuses. It's not just a book for $7. It's a book plus a lot more. It's a book plus a lot more. So make sure to click the link below to learn more about that. I agree. Street Attraction was the best London guys, 100%. Thank you, Commando Master, for the comment. And yeah, 100% Street Attraction was the most charismatic, and he was the best at just leading, and he was really good for sure. But they also didn't understand that there's certain things you shouldn't show on an online course, like audio of you having sex with a girl, where obviously she didn't know that it was being recorded. So that was a big mistake on their part. There's certain things it's not even legal to do, at least not in some places. Maybe it is in London, but I doubt it. To record something in private. In public is very different, but in private, especially something sexual, without consent to share it publicly. And so that they're getting banned is, well, duh, you don't do that. There's other coaches who've done the same thing, and it's like, I get you're showing proof, but you shouldn't do that. So with that said, I've actually got some more infield this weekend that I'm going to be posting in the near future. I have a couple that are good approaches. I also recorded myself approaching girls while I was having an anxiety attack, literally approaching girls while I was having an anxiety attack in the worst state possible. And I did this for a couple reasons. One, it shows that no matter how bad your emotional state is, you can still overcome it. It doesn't have to control you. And secondly, when you take right action, when you do things that you resist, right, that your ego is telling you not to do, you start to get into a better state. Because I show that my first approaches genuinely sucked, understandably, while I was having an anxiety attack. But over time, they got better and better. And eventually the anxiety attack completely disappeared. And I started actually having a good time and having success. So that's going to be a very interesting video that's going to come out in the near future. But with that said, again, if you want to learn pickup, the Spark, I'm not selling anymore, so I would recommend the Game Plan. The Spark, I discontinued. So definitely would recommend the Game Plan. But with that said, if you want to go deeper than just watching YouTube videos and you want some content that is extremely organized, extremely detailed, because a book is very different than just talking on camera about a topic. A book is something you write, you revise, you think about, and you make sure that it has everything someone needs in the right order with a structured series of action steps to get results. And so if that's something you're interested in, something that's more than just general advice, general content that is meant to be entertaining, and something that is far more designed towards getting you results, then make sure to click the link below to get a copy of my book, The Game Plan.